Hello and welcome to In Orbit, Mashless Button's official Destiny podcast. I am Jarrett, and I'm here with Jovan Branch, also known as Sage the Infinite on PSN.
Yo.
And I'm also here with Jorge Vegija. Sorry, I almost fucked that up. Jorge Vegija, who is go-to NRG on PSN. And I can never remember your Xbox name, but doesn't really matter.
It's the JTI on Xbox.
There you go. One day I'm remember. I always forget that you have an Xbox until I get ready to.
And then we talk about it, and we're like, wait, you don't really play it that much, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your brand name is.
Yeah. Yeah, so big Destiny thing's been happening. New Destiny expansion has come out since our last podcast. The House of Wolves has finally arrived. They had way more information about House of Wolves than they did about the Dark Below.
Thank God.
Yeah. They had videos and streams and people previewing it. And I think they kind of had to, because the Dark Below was such a shit show that when me and Sage were talking about it, we're like, okay, like a couple days before it came out, I was like, okay, so on Tuesday I'm gonna get home around 6:30. I'll be playing around 7. That means we'll be done with the story around 8:30. We'll do the strike. We'll be done around 9:00, and then we'll do some Crucible. That was like the schedule we had laid out. But that was off the strength of how our experience with the Dark Below. And I think, to kind of say, hey, it's not the same thing, guys. We're not going to hose you big time this time. They unleashed all this information about the House of Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
So typically we do, what you guys been up to in Destiny, but obviously everybody has been playing the Dark Below.
Yeah, I guess.
The House of Wolves, my bad. At least getting ready to play House of Wolves.
Right.
Like one guy in our clan, he was what was he doing? He was getting all of his faction up to the right before it would pop, so that when he got House of Wolves, he could then pop it and maybe get some House of Wolves gear, which I guess it worked out for him. The weekend before House of Wolves came out, they had the Queen's bounties come back, which we're going to talk a bit about those. But before we get into House of Wolves, there's one thing I want to bring up, and that's the motherfucking Mythoclast. Okay? Dude, I don't know what happened. I don't know who did it. I don't know why they did it. But why did they unnerf the Mythoclast? Like, not only did they unnerf it, but it was like a big middle finger. Like it almost felt like a different gun. Like the first time I got killed with the new and improved Mythoclast, I thought it was a different gun. I honestly thought somebody was shooting heavy ammo at me, and I realized, wait a minute, heavy ammo hasn't come up yet. And I look at my screen, and it's like, oh, you got killed by Mythoclast. It didn't even sound like it anymore. The fire rate was improved. The range was improved. The accuracy was improved, all dramatically. Like with the other Mythoclast, you learned, at least with the other Mythoclast, or the previous, before it got buffed, you had to be mid to close range. If you were outside of mid range, you could it was basically like a Epcot Center light show. Like it was just lasers going around you. That's what it was like. Okay, but it was now it's like it shot fast, it hit hard. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I don't know, like Bungie, what the fuck? Like why? Maybe they felt like, well, people complain about the Hawk Moon. Maybe if we make the Mythoclast, more powerful again, let's not complain about the Hawk Moon because they'll have powerful weapon too. No, like why? Go ahead.
The only thing I can think of the only possible reason is to offer an alternative to Hawk Moon and Thorn. That's not a good solution. Absolutely, by any stretch of the imagination, is it a good solution? Because it's gotten to the point where it's become a scout rifle in terms of range, and it's ridiculous how powerful that is. when I was doing Trials of Osiris, which we'll talk about later, you know that little ledge in the middle? If you're coming from the sun side and you have somebody waiting on that ledge, they can kill you from that distance using Vex Mythoclast. And I've gotten hit pretty hard, and I've done that to somebody. A headshot will be like 74 damage from that range.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and the only thing I can think of is Bungie wanted an alternative, people to use another gun besides Thorn and Hawkmoon, and obviously Last Word. It's just really ridiculous.
Well, that's the thing with the Thorn, though. I mean, while the Thorn itself has not been nullified, it has been. I think the rise of the Red Death has severely reduced the use of Thorn, because now, like with the Thorn, it's like, well, at least I just gotta hit him this many times and I'll kill him. But if somebody with Red Death, if you get their health down, but then they manage to kill you, the Thorn has been nullified.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hawkmoon is still bullshit because it's like it has 3 rounds in that gun that can, that'll cause severe damage. I mean, how often are we getting one-shotted by Hawkmoon still? And
I am.
Oh yeah. And Timber's Lash is even worse, but I'm just glad a lot of people did not get that gun reforged too, because you could reforge Timber's Lash to be like a Hawkmoon. And since there's less bullets in it, there's a higher percentage chance of them delivering like one of those super bullets.
No, even worse. I saw somebody with a random bullet plus final round on his Timber's Lash, and I've seen the final bullet be that random bullet, and it would do 255 points of damage.
Oh my god.
It's an instant guaranteed kill. There's nothing. Like I've seen him put down a rushing blade dancer with the Timber's Lash, and I'm like, yo, I'm good. I'm gonna be over here. I'm gonna watch the rest of the. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, I really can't speak on the Mythoclast from like operating it, firing it, because I don't, I haven't been fortunate enough to get one. But on the other end, receiving, I can definitely co-sign I don't know. It just made a huge comeback. Like I see so many more Mythoclast, and I started calling it the Mythoblast. That's what I started calling it. Man.
Well, it happened during Iron Banner. It's like, who figured that out?
Yeah.
Like, how did the news get out that the Mythoclast was back? Because so many people were using it. It wasn't just a few. A lot of people were using it.
Yeah, my guess would be that the second that auto rifles got nerfed heavily, people were looking around for an alternative, and Bungie probably snuck in, or they didn't do enough with that, because there's issues with Vex Mythoclast being a primary that other guns don't have in terms of ammo that they get and stuff, but that's beside the point. Right. So I'm not sure if that plays into the equation, because its stats might be based in terms of PvP. For example, the sidearm. When you look at it, you're like, this has no impact. But when you're using that Vestian Dynasty in PvP, and you do a body shot and it's 50 points of damage with that kind of impact to a body, means that they're using some sort of different stats for the impact in terms of secondary weapons, which might play into why the Vex Mythoclast, being a fusion rifle, is hitting so hard in PvP.
Right.
Maybe. That's a good point. I haven't even tried using the Vestian.
Oh my god! If you're in, oh my god, it's the one weapon that will put down a blade dancer so fast. They found a way to make blade dancers vulnerable, because you see a blade dancer, okay, Vestian Dynasty, pop, you're dead. By the time that clip is over, and you know how fast you can get rid of that clip, they're dead.
Yeah,
they're dead.
Yeah. Well, it's not like it's the first time. Blade dancers used to get killed by shotguns. Now it's like you gotta put like 3 shotgun rounds into a blade dancer. Mm-hmm. It's pretty ridiculous. I have videos of me well, not necessarily one-shotting a blade dancer, but getting at least 2 shots off into him and now be it. Now it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I have video of somebody putting 3 golden gun shots into a blade dancer and they still killed him.
Oh my god!
Wow. I have a video of me shooting 4 golden gun shots into a guy and he didn't die.
I saw that, yeah.
Dude, that was ridiculous. I missed the 3rd shot because I was like in such shock that I'm like, he's gonna blow up any minute now. Any minute now. Nothing. So instead of making that fucking ball and the goddamn tower light up, maybe they should have been working on netcode. Every time I see that fucking ball light up, I'm like, "There's my netcode. It's in the ball. That's what's powering the ball lighting up."
It's so mad. I'm sorry. That's so funny.
Dude, like, yeah, I get angry every time I see that fucking ball. Well, what I've been doing when I see people playing with it, I kick it over the edge. So, dude, I take the ball and I knock it over the edge of the goddamn tower.
He is literally the Grinch.
Yeah, man, I was very upset about that damn ball.
I think Crucible will forever be a topic on this show because they're never, from the way things are going, they're never going to get it to where we're all comfortable with what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the thing is, like, it used to be not that bad, but it gets progressively worse, especially with the lag. Like, the lag just seemed like, especially I think around January is when the lag started getting really bad.
Yeah.
It started getting really bad, and like, it just sucks. And I think my theory is that they had a dip in players. They had a dip in players, and they started, mapping people that were farther away from each other in farther regions.
Yeah, because every so often I'll have games against British people, and boy, do those things lag.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, I mean, I've been playing PC for more than half my life, so you have a better understanding of where people are coming from when you play with PC, and on PC, if they're coming from California, which is on the opposite side of the country for us over here because we're in New Jersey. But California, Canada, even some places in Mexico, the latency is not as bad as we are seeing, in the Crucible. So
and the thing is, like, with the lag, it's like a lot of the times it gives the laggers the advantage.
Yes.
When it shouldn't.
Like that guy I was shooting at, like,
yeah.
I shot him 4 times with golden gun, 3 landed, and he punches me in the face and kills me.
Exactly.
And then right after that, he shotguns somebody and kills them.
That's the problem I have with it. I mean, I'm sure if the shoe was on the other foot, which it has been. I remember the other night when we were playing, I was like one of the only people lagging, and I was just doing awful because it seemed like the shots that people were shooting at me would all hit me at once, and mine would hit late. So I was dead by the time they were taking damage, and it wasn't my connection. Like, because a couple matches after that, I was in the green. I was perfect. So
it had to be a server.
Yeah, I know it was their server. So I mean, it's just nothing you can do about that. But I mean, it's just funny when you see somebody else lagging and they're like number 1, and then you lag and you're in last place.
Yeah. But I just wanted to bring up the Mythoclast because that was like some real bullshit. Bungie.
Yeah.
But let's actually get into House of Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the story first, because I think what the story for Dark Below, well, I shouldn't say just the story itself, but the story portions or the campaign portions was one of the biggest
letdowns.
Oh yes, letdowns in the Dark Below. Like, you get done with those 3 missions if you're bad at the game in 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Me and Sage, I think we got done just outside of an hour, those 3 missions. And then you have, like, the stuff you got to do on patrol. The strike wasn't any fun. Like, the Omnigul strike was not fun, still is not fun. And I won't do it unless there's arc burn or some type of burn on that strike. So don't ask me.
Okay.
So, like, because it's long, it's not fun. It's just a lot of enemies rushing at you. And for PlayStation 4, we got 2 strikes, and both of them sucked. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Crota's, and to be honest with you, I like the Vault of Glass way more than I like Crota's Raid.
I think
Crota's
Vault of Glass is a better designed raid, hands down. There's no question. It's just way better.
Yeah, you're right. It feels better designed. Like you had to do more. You got people getting sucked in the portals, and it required more teamwork than, all right, shoot your missiles.
Exactly. It
Shoot
seemed
them
like
again.
they
Okay, get
designed
off. Like that's it. Yeah.
right. It was like they designed that raid. Like when they had raids, like that was what they had in mind designing. It didn't seem like you know the Crota raid was just like, okay, we know we have to do a raid, let's do one. It didn't seem like they just really took time and just crafted something that they knew people were gonna like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in regards to the story, am I the only one that thought that, oh my God, Varix is the man?
Varix?
Varix is that dude when he's like, he said, oh, it was an insult. I was like, what? Yo, I laughed so hard. Yo, Varix talks so much trash, and I'm like, yes, that is that dude.
I didn't mind
like,
him in the story missions. I wish he would shut up in Prison of Elders, though.
Oh, come on, no! In the prison, he's hilarious.
In the prison, I just want him to be quiet.
And dude, he's like success. Yo, I laughed so hard, dude. You know who voices him too, right?
No.
D. Bradley Baker.
Okay.
He does the voices. He does a lot of the voices, the animal voices for Avatar: The Last Airbender. And if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, he also did the voice of Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh yeah.
He's been doing tons of voice work over the years, and he's my favorite part of the DLC. Not to say that the rest of the DLC is crud, but oh my God, Varix is the man. Yes,
I liked all the audio from the House of Wolves.
Yeah, it's
the
much
music is
better.
epic, dude.
The
Yes.
music is good. Was that Petra? Yeah, Petra's voice is even better. That's because the chick from first of all, you had Dinklage Bot, which by the time you got to Mars, Peter Dinklage was signed out. He was logged off. He was done.
Right.
He was collecting his check, and he probably slammed that fucking door on the last day that he walked out of there, and just like walked his little legs to his Bentley or whatever he has. Like that, you could just tell he was done.
Apparently, he's been let go completely.
Well, yeah, like actually, that was funny because there's one part, actually, the very first mission in for House of Wolves. There's that part where Petra's like, "Yeah, your ghost is telling me this," but the ghost didn't say shit. Like they don't even let him talk anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it was the ghost was like reading the schematics from your ghost or something like that.
Yeah, it was really really funny. Maybe they'll do something to kill him off and you get a new ghost. Like,
I can see them. It's like your ghost got an upgrade.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, and like a new voice. They need to get the guy what was his name? The guy who did Wheatley. I would play Destiny every fucking day if they did that. Because Wheatley from Portal 2.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Did you play Portal 2?
No, I didn't.
Oh no. Oh no.
No.
Oh.
How?
No.
You should know by now. I don't play that many PC games.
I know.
And I know it got ported over to Xbox 360 and PS3. I just didn't have a chance.
Did you play the first one?
Yes.
Okay, so the second one. Oh, first of all, how did you feel about the first Portal? Did you think it was okay? I mean, it was only like a 3-hour game.
I mean, I understood why it was so popular. It was a different mechanic to the quote unquote shooting first person game style, and it's all puzzles and stuff, which is really cool. I just puzzle games like aren't really my cup of tea. Not that they're hard to me. It's just
dude.
I prefer a little bit more action in my games.
Oh man, like well, this oh, I don't want to. You gotta play it though. It's one of those games you gotta play. Like you missed so much. You missed Cave Johnson. Cave Johnson. I would vote for him for president. Like I would vote Cave Johnson for president. Cave Johnson. There's Wheatley. Of course, there's wow, why am I drawing a blank right now? There's Oh my
I love
God.
how far off topic we went.
Oh yeah, like, yeah, but so just the dialogue alone is worth playing the game. Shit, if you want to, I will play the game and stream that shit so you can watch it. Like it is awesome. But yeah, I did like the voice acting a lot better, and the music was way better too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Hive music just sucks, man. The Hive music, it's not even really music. It's just that eerie sounding shit. You know,
Well,
like
the only new piece of music that they really did for Dark Below was the one when the sword falls down and you're going after Crota, right? I don't remember any other new pieces of music for Dark Below.
yes, that is it, and it was kind of a dumb thing to do.
Because the Crota boss music is actually the same music from when you're fighting the one Telthor the Unborn.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think they did a much better job with everything. Like the story just feels more fleshed out. It feels more engaged as well. You know, I thought it was better. Front and only biggest thing, it was longer. I was really only expecting 3 missions.
Yeah.
I was expecting
it's
3
like
missions.
six missions, and they're pretty decent sized.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And the fact that they use Vault of Glass is awesome as heck.
now that is something I wanted to talk about. Like
Okay.
while all this is great, the 6 missions, you know, the voice acting is better and all stuff. Let's talk about the content itself, though.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of the situation is that all of those story missions, with the exception of 2, only two story missions actually went into new places.
And to be fair, they're all old places because they were on the disc before.
Yes, they were on the disc, but 2 places that we haven't been able to go to before, now you can get to. Besides that, every mission was just another mission that we played before in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, I wasn't really too pleased about that. Like, you know, I was hoping for more areas. They did add some new enemies. You know, like they did some work on the Vandal. Not the Vandal, sorry. The not the dregs. What are they called?
The Shanks.
The Shanks. Yeah, the Shanks.
The Shanks and the Servitors.
Yeah, the Shanks and the Servitors. The Shanks. I honestly think the Tracer Shank is one of the laziest things I've ever seen. They put a rifle on top of a Shank and called it a day. Like that was it, you know. But they did add those new grenades that slow you down.
Yeah.
You know. So I really hope they don't incorporate those in Crucible, like, or as weapons that people can put down, like mines. I'm like, yo, that will be so annoying, so annoying.
Imagine if in Crucible there's just like a part of the match where a Scorch Cannon just like a couple Scorch Cannons just drop.
I'm actually okay with that because that would be fun.
Not a couple. If one dropped, I would be okay with that.
That would actually be a fun mode.
If one dropped, I'd be okay with that. Both teams going to some place where the Scorch Cannon is supposed to drop.
I'd be okay with 2. I'd be okay.
No, I want 1. That's it. Fuck you. I want 1.
Damn.
Nah, and no timer on that shit. Actually, I think I presented an excellent case yesterday in the Crucible why there should be no timers. Okay, I wiped out almost an entire. Sage was right there. I wiped out almost an entire team single-handedly because I was able to time when the heavy ammo was coming. I killed 3 people with a grenade, and then I killed 2 other people with my gun. So 5 out of 6 people I killed, and then I took their heavy ammo. And that's all because there was a timer. I knew exactly when to throw my grenade and exactly when to come out of this other side. No timers. No timers, Bungie. Unless you want me to kill more of your friends.
I mean, I think that's just good strategy. I wouldn't put that on the timers. because most people can't do that. So
that was I'll put it on the timers, dude.
yeah.
Because you see people all the time like waiting and then doing their special. Now that shit wasn't happening before in heavy ammo. Or if somebody came and did their special on the heavy ammo, they might be too early or they might be just too late. Now it's like people just wait for the right perfect time and then they pop it.
I respect the strategy, but I hate that shit when it happens to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
So in regards to the new areas, I will say this though. The old area, what is it called? The where you fight Skolas in the story mode. Anyway, that area over there, they did change that area gigantically.
We mean when you fight him for the last time?
The last time that area when I quote unquote hacked into it, hacksaws.
Oh yeah. You mean when you jumped over that thing?
What's up?
When you jumped over the thing?
Oh yeah. When you used the way it used to be. It used to be just one giant area with Vex stuff, and you could jump on top of these spires. There was no jumping puzzle, no nothing like that. And the way it is now, like it's darker. You can see the giant catch right there. There's the portals, the Vex stuff, all that stuff. It looks really really cool, but really well done. So they did change that. The other area, the King's Watch, they didn't change that. Pretty much, it's pretty much identical to what it was before.
Right.
The area on the moon, they added a couple graphic effects inside the catch, and I'm kind of disappointed because when you go to the last area where you fight Barracks, which is a very cool boss battle, and that's actually a fun strike, but that's beside the point.
Strike is awesome.
It is fun.
When you go to the last area, I don't know if you've noticed. There are two giant spider tanks up there, chromed out. They don't get involved at all.
I never even noticed.
Me neither.
Yeah, there's right along the wall. When you get into that last room, there's two giant spider tanks that are just chilling there, and they don't get involved in the fight at all. And I'm kind of disappointed because I thought that you would fight them, that they would be part of that last boss battle. And it's cool that you do fight that one tank because it's tough, but there's a good strategy that you can do that makes it fair.
Right. Well, we kind of blew through that Nightfall, but we'll get into that a little later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in terms of the other stuff in the single player, they definitely reused tactics from other stuff that you've already done. Like, you go into the Vault of Glass, and then you have to destroy the oracles. That's something we've already done before. Most of us already done before. And then you just fight people there. Then also at the end, that last area where the stuff is disappearing and reappearing, that's also something from Vault of Glass.
It's just easier than Vault of Glass, the jumping puzzle there.
Oh yeah, it's easier than Vault of Glass.
But absolutely. I will say this. If you die and the people are in front of you, they can't go back and get you, and it's a 30-second wait. Oh my God, I've had that happen. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, we had to come up with a system so we didn't push each other off in the air,
right?
Because we were definitely getting in each other's way, But yeah, and actually the strike. Getting back to the strike. It was a fun strike. I thought it was definitely a fun strike, and I like the fact that the damage you do to him actually counts later on.
Yeah.
But the only downside of that is that in the Nightfall, when we got to him finally in the last place, we killed him before his minions came out.
Yeah, it's a real. I even on the normal version, I kill him before his minions come out.
Yeah, so it's like he needs those tanks because he gets rolled at the end there when there's nothing to help him. I'll say the most challenging part is when the tank is in the middle. That is the most challenging part.
Right.
But I mean overall, it's not like the story portions or the campaign portion is bad. It's all right. I mean, it's good. It was entertaining. I don't mind running through it. It's not as a pain in the ass as the Dark Below stuff, especially the Dark Below Strike. But at the same time, Bungie's not really giving us anything new here. It's stuff that we've run through this already. They're right now, House of Wolves is living off the strength that it doesn't suck balls like Dark Below did.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. I mean, it's better, but it's not like right now. As of now, some of us have spent $95 on this game. Others have spent $100 on this game based on the expansions, and I still don't feel like we're getting $100 worth. To be honest with you,
I don't agree with that. There's a lot of game that we've gone through, and yeah, the problem was the base vanilla Destiny package. It was so sparse that now it feels like we've gotten the full original game
for $40 more.
Unfortunately, yeah.
You said we have a lot of game to go through. We don't have a lot of game to go through. We're just playing the same things over and over again. We're grinding it up.
Well, I mean, like for me personally, I feel like I've gotten my money's worth because I've played this game more than 90% of my other games, and for me, that's worth it in itself because it's times where I'm upset with it, but that's just gaming. Like there's always going to be stuff you don't like, but as far as time consumed and enjoyment, like I feel like I've definitely got more than my money's worth, honestly.
I can't say the same thing. Like just replaying. It's not like it's a bullet hell shooter or something like that where you're just constantly going back for a high score or something like that. It just feels like it's a trap to grind, and you have to go back. You know what I'm saying? You have to go back to get your weapons. Well, sorry, not anymore. We're gonna get into that. But like with the Dark Below was like super grindy. You know, they purposely held stuff back. Like you can only go and get these things once a week.
Right.
So that it kept you coming back week to week to week, and they having these weapons with high levels, so that you have to go and do your bounties and stuff like that. To keep you coming back and grinding. Yet Bungie won't admit that they're trying to make an MMO. They still won't cop to that.
I think the thing that would have helped this game, this expansion more in terms of story, would have been if they explored more. In the Grimoire cards, they mention a secret fallen house on Mars. And I think if they did one or two missions on Mars, maybe it would have felt a little bit different just because
yes.
Mars
I totally
is
agree.
barely used in anything.
Yeah,
absolutely
right.
anything. Like once you get through the main story, like Mars what?
I totally agree. And that's why it was nice. It's nice. I know we're going to get into this, with Prison of Elders, but it was nice to see the Cabal make a nice return to something that you definitely have to be concerned with.
No, screw the Cabal in Prison of Elders. They are the most annoying race in Prison of Elders.
Not for me. I was solar damaged from head to toe when every time the Cabal's name come up, and I ripped through them.
Yeah, first time I did the level 32 strike, not strike, but Prison of Elders arena.
Yeah.
F that room.
The Cabal sucks.
And F that. The first time
agree.
I did that, oh my! Like now I can get through that pretty easily because I'm 34. Bah! But
oh, you talking about the boss? Like when you have to fight another boss?
The boss and that room, just everything in that room.
All right. Well, let's talk about Prison of Elders. Let's move on to that, and then we'll come back and talk about the boss again. So Prison of Elders. For those who haven't done it yet, which if you haven't done it yet, I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe you can't get a group to help you. I would definitely go with a group of 3 people. You go through these doors. Like a door will open for each round. Okay, so they'll say round whatever. So round 1. Varric's voice will come over the PA system. He'll tell you what you're about to fight, and then he'll open the door. You go through the door and you'll fight it. And there'll be 3 waves of each. There'll be 3 waves of that type of enemy. The first round is just enemies. The second and third round, you'll have to. The second and third round, you will need to. There's like a secondary objective, and it could be like you have to destroy some mines, or you have to dismantle some mines, or you have to stand in a place for a certain amount of time,
Or take down a VIP.
or take down a VIP. Right. On top of these of these objectives and fighting these enemies, there's also a modifier. Some modifiers help you, some don't. So like something that help you is like Brawler, where every time like your melee strength is increased. One that'll hurt you is one that we had while fighting the Cabal, where your health does not regenerate.
Yeah, that one's really tough.
Yeah, well, we actually did find out that your health does regenerate, but extremely slowly. Like the last bar itself will just regenerate, but the 2 bars above that, extremely slow. They'll regenerate.
I gotta correct you a little bit. The shields regenerate very slowly. Your health regenerates at normal level.
Right. Well, it's 1 big bar to me.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's 1 big bar to me. So it's like you're right. It is your shields regenerating very slowly. That is what it is. So yeah, that's basically it's an arena, and each race has their own room. Now, according to Bungie, these like something's gonna change in the Prison of Elders weekly. I just don't know what it is.
What's gonna happen is, well, okay. The level 28 one is always random, and it's matchmaking. The level 32, 34, and 35, well, 32 and 34 will change weekly. For example, this week it's Urok's Rage or something like that, and I forget what it is, Broken Legion. There you go. Next week it'll be I'm assuming the Vandal one, the Fallen one, and the Vex one. Now there's another Fallen one, not the one for Skolas. There's another Fallen one. There's another Fallen boss, and there's also another Vex boss that we haven't seen yet.
Okay, so the final boss is going to change then.
The final boss, the modifiers, and the order. So, for example, this week it's Cabal and Hive, which are the major ones in the Broken Legion, and then the other one is what is it? Hive, a lot of Hive, more Hive, and one like random Fallen, like all out of nowhere.
The 35.
The 34. 35 will remain as is. It'll just have different modifiers and different things.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So you'll fight, like, instead of it being, for example, the what is it? The pilot servitor, it'll be another boss before Skolas. Okay. It's always going to be Skolas on the 35.
But there'll be another boss before him.
Exactly.
See, on the 34, we got, and that's what I want to talk about. We got Vex, Hive, Cabal, Hive. That's what we got. I can't remember if the second Cabal was not a boss. I was actually expecting it to be a boss, but it wasn't a boss. It was a VIP. The first Cabal was Mines. But the problem we had with the second Cabal was, on the second Cabal with the VIP, was the one where we could not regenerate health.
Yeah, that one blows. That one's really tough.
We feel like we were trying to play it safe. Like we were playing back, and I was trying to use my iceberg and stuff. But then I grabbed my invective and I put it in his mouth and I killed him. Like basically, that's what we had to do. Like we just didn't give him any time. Once he came out that door, we go over there, plug him, and then go back to our positions. Which for that room specifically, we spread out.
Yeah, you definitely need one of each race in there with you. You need a hunter, a warlock, and a titan.
We did what we did. We did actually that time. We did 2 warlocks, 1 titan.
Right. I mean, it's possible with one of with not the way I said it, but the reason I say that is because, for example, the easy thing to do in that room when you're dismantling mines, just have the hunter do it. Just go invisible. When they go invisible. When they go invisible, they're like all the enemies are around them, like doo, 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 doo. And then you can also blink strike the actual mine and become invisible. So the 2 guys are doing is drawing the enemies towards you or towards them, leaving you complete freedom to dismantle that mine without any problems.
Yeah, we figured it out. Like we definitely got it figured out. Actually, I think I might have had that backwards because we definitely fought Cabal twice, right, Sage? And then we fought a Hive twice. But wasn't it back to back? We fought Hive back to back.
Yeah.
So I think it was Vex, Cabal, Cabal, Hive, Hive. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. The one for the level 34 is Hive, because it's arc damage on dismantle mines, and there's actually a glitch on the Hive, which I'm pretty sure they'll fix soon. Because if you, I know it sounds weird, you don't stand on the sand, the enemies don't spawn.
Yeah, we figured that out. we figured that part out.
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that was hilarious. The problem we had though with one time when we did it was that every enemy came out at the same exact time.
Right.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny too.
That shit was
Watching
like Call
a
of Duty.
watching a sea of Hive pour out of every orifice. Like that was pretty. That was pretty funny.
And all strong as fuck. They were all on coke, so.
Yeah. Well, I actually ended up, even though it was arc burn.
I'm done. I can't. Check, please.
Even though it was arc burn, it was I ended up pulling out my Abyss Defiant so I could confuse the
witch,
the witches, no, the wizards, so that that way they could leave us alone.
That's terrible.
Wizard.
Yeah, wizard.
That's terrible. I mean,
I get an inside joke. We do that all the time. Like, but
that shit is hilarious.
Yeah, so with the Prison of Elders, once you beat the final boss, you get to go to a treasure room.
Mm-hmm.
The treasure room, there's a one big coffin-looking chest you can open. That's gonna get you some treasure, like maybe an exotic, maybe a nice legendary. We thought you needed the treasure keys to get like the armored core or the etheric light. You don't. So that's really good news. If you don't have any treasure keys, you can still go and get that stuff. In order to get the 33, or in order to, not in order to get the 33, but in order to get the arm piece or the gauntlets from the reef, you need like an armor core.
Yep.
What I really want is that weapon core, because that auto rifle is no joke.
It's okay.
It's okay?
It's okay.
I just looked at the impact. I looked at the impact and the rate of fire. I was like, that doesn't like no joke.
They still need to buff auto rifles. It's very good. It's just there are better weapons to be had.
Okay, yeah, but like Prison of Elders, it's just like the modifiers mixed with the different races. Like, and I mean, like you got to go in with the team. You got to have a plan and what you want to do. I mean, for us, spreading out is an option. For some teams, it is not, because the players just aren't good enough. But for us, like in that Cabal room, that's what we do all the time. So like when we've had the fight Valis to Arak, because he's the boss for 32. And
that was Trog,
yeah, his brother. Sorry,
get it right.
He still has brooms on his shoulders. I don't care, but we had to fight him, and he reconfigures his shields to be different element types.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, we were trying to just like be all in one place, and the Cabal put out too much splash damage for us to do that. So basically, we just spread out. If one of us died, we would actually, somebody would make the trip, go over, and then I would like res them, like see ya, and then go back to my spot. And that worked out for us. That definitely worked out for us. So Prison of Elders is definitely fun. That fucking Urox fight, that is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
he burns the ground.
It is, but let me tell you, I had so much more fun doing that than Crota.
It is better than Crota.
Oh my god, it is so much more fun. It like when you finally understand what to do with Urox and what you need to do. Like a lot of people don't realize, you put a bubble in the middle, like on the left side, and then you just keep jumping in and out of the bubble. You'll take no damage.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Actually, I did see one video where the guys use the right side. I prefer the right side. The reason I prefer the right side is because I have a much better view of not just him, but of almost everything else. Like the ogres, With a maxed out icebreaker, you could kill each ogre in 3 shots. So
Yeah.
in one icebreaker clip, you can knock out both ogres. Then before he starts to fight, before he flames the ground for the first time, I could kill 1 to 2 boomer knights.
hmm
Okay, that just leaves like the thrall, and this is just me by myself, not even including the people who are on my team. So they could be killing off the thrall. By the time the ground stops burning, that's when the witches make their way over there, and you can start killing them. So I actually prefer it over there. To be honest with you. But to each his own.
hmm
However they want to do it. But I thought the Prison of Elder is good. But to be honest with you, I don't know if it's good enough to keep me coming back all the time. Like if somebody wanted to play it, I'd play it with them. But I'm not gonna organize a group. You don't even have to organize a group. But say, hey, you guys want to play Prison of Elders? Oh, I know we're all 34, but still, you just want to do it? Well, no, I wouldn't do it. Like.
I will say this though, the fact that it's level 28 and matchmaking means that in order to have completed or to be able to do Prison of Elders, you have to complete the story.
Yeah.
And a lot of most people who complete the story are completing that at least level 30, 31, maybe even 32.
Yeah.
So if you invite those people into a party, you get to know each other, kind of shoot the shit, get it going good. You probably just organize yourself a team for the other 2 or other 3.
That's true. Yeah, you could do that. It's just I just don't see myself doing it.
Right. No, I understand.
This is the internet we're talking about.
Right. The 32 and 34 strikes. Well, I keep saying strikes, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
32 and 34 arenas were fun. The 35 one is a little bit of the same feeling that I had when doing the 33 raid when I was max 32. Especially when it comes to the Vandal room. I mean, the Fallen room. Because you're in there a couple times, and the 2 times are when you do. The first time is actually you're there more than 3 times. Two times. The first time you're taking out a VIP. That's the model. That's the major objective. You're taking out a VIP, and the perk is primary weapons, or no, I'm sorry, secondary weapons are favored, but it's juggler, which means that the primary weapons and heavy weapons get nerfed a tad, not terribly, but they get nerfed a tad, and your secondary weapon gets boosted a tad.
Right.
So you're doing so much less damage with my weapon of choice is Fang of Yu just because of all the.
That's everybody's favorite weapon right now.
Right. And I'm doing maybe 200 per headshot, 300 per headshot, something like that, and with that modifier on, with my Fang, and sometimes it's just not enough, and you just get overrun. So there's times where you're just running around the map trying to, having the enemies chase you, and then peg them a couple times, then run around the map again. For example, that one area, that one round or whatever, in that room, it took us about 20 minutes to do. And that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time to be shooting shit.
And that's not even counting the actual boss, or the pilot servitor, which took us another 25, maybe 30 minutes, even with all of us running Galahorns, just because you get surrounded by all these servitors.
Right.
And then the boss himself. I had moments where I'm like, yo, this is Crota all over again. Because there's moments where it's doggone easy. Everything falls into place. You just Galahorn the crap out of him. He dies. You dismantle the mines. Bing, bang, boom. You're back home free. And then there's times where he decides to teleport inside your bubble.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what just happened?
Yeah. I actually in Prison of Elder, I've had more enemies come in my bubble than any other place I've ever fought.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny after the fact, but it's not funny while it's happening.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, it's not supposed to be this way.
Yeah, like the 35 arena, I think needs to be fixed up a little bit, because they definitely did think it out pretty well for the most part. But some of those enemy placements or enemy choices or just I don't agree with totally.
Right. Well, we'll see if next week if it's consistent that that's just the one that's gonna dick you or not. I
Right.
guess. So we'll see. Now, we've been talking about Prison of Elders, but another big thing that came with House of Wolves was Trials of Osiris. Something that, as much as we talk about Crucible, or me and Sage play Crucible, I have zero desire to play Trials of Osiris. But Jorge played it.
Yes, I did.
Why don't you tell us about it, Jorge?
Now, I'm not the best Crucible guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I can hold my own. I ended up like I can be on a team where I have a 15-6 kill death ratio, and we lose sweep. It's just a complete sweep. And it's a lot of the times it's the issues that we've been talking about. It's just some of these weapons are just pure. It's completely unfair, and sometimes it's lag. Sometimes it's just they're all around you. And it's a little. I would, in my opinion, look. This is just me. I probably think that that's probably the most disappointing part of the DLC, the Prison of Elders.
Trials of Osiris.
I'm sorry, Trials of Osiris. I apologize. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I understand a lot of people love it. A lot of the gear is cool, and the fact that you have that Mercury social space is cool.
Yeah, if you win, right? If you win,
you have to win 9 times without a loss,
right,
to go to Mercury. I don't have the 9 wins. I have nowhere close to 9 wins. I still want the chess piece. I just have almost no desire to, because it really takes all the bad stuff from Crucible and magnifies it even more than Iron Banner does.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wasn't excited for it, is because now it's like if you get 3 losses, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
You're out if you get 3 losses. People are going to take that cheese to the next level. They're just going to be sitting there trying to figure out how could they possibly get the biggest advantage they possibly can. And Destiny enables them to do that.
Yeah, it does.
Destiny enables them to do that because, I've said it before, I will say it again, the game is made out of cheese. With guns like Felwinter's Lie, Hawk Moon, even Patience and Time, just sniper rifles in general, how fast sniper rifles can shoot, not have recoil, and the damage they do is pure cheese on its own. That by itself is pure cheese. I mean, I have had times where I'm shooting Patience and Time, and the person I killed shouldn't have died. I missed twice, and I finally hit him. But that was the thing. Like, you can be a not so great sniper and still dominate with guns like that.
Yeah. From what I heard, though, they removed Final Round from future sniper rifles.
Future sniper rifle.
But the ones that are in there right now, yeah, it gets really annoying when you turn around and bam, 1 shot dead. Bam, 1 shot dead. Everybody has a Final Round sniper rifle, and you're just kind of like twiddling your thumbs, like, well, there's another round down. It's a really tough mode, and I understand it's made for the hardcore. But when they were doing the reveal, they were like, we want everybody to try this. And when people try it, they're like, I'm done. I can't.
Yeah, like it's for. I mean, I am a hardcore first-person shooter player. It's probably I love playing against other real people and other real people with skill. But Destiny, as a game, removes the skill from you and it becomes about the weapons. Somebody with less skill. Look at the Thorn. The Thorn is the perfect example. If so many people would not get kills if it wasn't for the Thorn. Post-mortem has probably increased. Once Thorns became more regular, the post-mortems probably just increased like substantially.
Yeah. In fact, now that you're talking about weapons, let's talk about weapons for for House of Wolves, because am I the only one that feels that the weapons took a step back, and not in the way that you would think?
Well, in what way do you think the weapons took a step back?
There's no individuality. For example, everybody knows Fatebringer, right?
Yeah.
Fatebringer's like, oh my god, it's the gun to have. In this House of Wolves, there's not that one gun that everybody's searching to have. For example, Vault of Glass is synonymous with Fatebringer. Crota's End is synonymous for the most part with Fangavir U. House of Wolves is synonymous with, like, every single weapon has their, like, it has, exactly, like, it has a random perk to the weapon. I have a gun, 6 Dreg Promise, right? The one I got has Vandal. It does extra moderate damage to Vandals, an additional moderate damage to Vandals, and some other random perk. Another person got one that does extra damage to Shanks, and you can't re-roll that.
Really?
Yes. Another person got the Queen's sniper rifle. Was it the Queen's? No, I don't think it was the Queen's. It was the Varix one that does extra damage to Shanks. How are you gonna put that perk on a sniper rifle?
Wow.
Like the perks that they have right now are terrible, and some of these perks, like the perks should, for example, say what you will about the Word of Crota hand cannon and how disappointing it is. At least you know you're gonna do extra damage to Hive Majors. You know that it's a Void cannon that's gonna do pretty solid work on a Void burn, and it has the 3-shot, 1-shot, 1 extra bullet in your magazine burn. You know that that's what you're gonna get anytime you get a Word of Crota. You get any you get any gun from the Prison of Elders, you don't know what you're getting. There's no individuality. There's nothing there that says, you know, this gun is the gun that you're gonna want. So like you're going through, and I'm getting buttloads of legendary weapons. Like here's a gun, here's a gun, here's a gun. I'm like, oh god, I have too much. And not a single gun in there speaks out to me. Like for example, the Fang of Ute or the Fatebringer, and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Right. I agree with that. I haven't seen any guns that I've gotten personally that have stood out to me, or I haven't even, you know, from watching on the internet and looking at different things, I haven't seen any weapons that really jump out like, oh, yo, I gotta have one of those, or I gotta keep playing until I get one of those. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like these weapons are that special. The ones, you know, even the little drops I get that are legendary, I'm like, damn, I want to save it because I haven't used it yet, but at the same time, like, do I really care? Like, you know? So I agree with that.
You're right. You do make a really good point. One thing I don't like about the weapons is that a lot of them can be reforged, though. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I think that kind of backs up what I'm saying. The fact that they're reforged, especially the Queen's weapons, when they come, they're just absolute horse crap.
Yeah,
well, I agree.
I don't like it because that's how you get unbalanced weapons like Felwinter's Lie. Like some people have Felwinter's Lies that might as well just have scopes on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might as well have scopes on them because I've been one shot with Felwinter's Lie from across the room. So is Sage. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I told him the other day I was downstairs against somebody and they were upstairs and they shotgunned me with one shot from up the stairs. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And those reforgings, like I don't know. I think Bungie if they're gonna allow that, they have to take much better care, or they have to take much better care of what can be reforged with which weapons and what what stats.
Yeah.
You know, that is a big deal. And then I guess another thing about the weapons and the armor, which we can get into, is the fact that in order to upgrade them, like you literally like just need one item, and that's an etheric light.
Yeah.
Now.
And that is not something that you can you can get a lot of different ways. And that's the problem I have that's keeping me from playing this game as much as I have is the fact that I can't go in by myself and just grind and or at least get to a point where it's like, okay, I can level up something until I get this. Like it's just like, yo, I just have to have this one element and then I'm done. And in a sense that's cool, but if there's not a variety of ways to go about getting that item, then it just takes out the enjoyment that I got in this game. And I mean, that's just for me personally.
Well, let's go over the 4 different ways. You can get it from completing the Prison of Elders on 34 and 35.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it from completing Trials of Osiris 8 wins. You get it from the chest on Mercury should you get the 9 wins. You get it from Iron Banner, and what's the 4th way?
Iron Banner, you can buy them.
Yeah, for 5,000 Glimmer, you'll be able to buy them, but nobody knows if you have to be a certain level on Iron Banner. My assumption would be yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point in.
See, then I'm just gonna wait to Iron Banner because I play that anyway. I go all out for Iron Banner. So I mean, it's like it's like what am I playing now for when I can just wait and play then?
So yeah, Iron Banner, Prison of Elders, Trials of Osiris. What's the 4th? Oh, the Nightfall. I forgot about that.
And a knife, which that's a fucking crapshoot. So pardon my language, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I've gotten several Etheric Light from completing the Prison of Elders, and I got all 3 of my characters to 34 based on luck and the Etheric Light. I'm okay with the way it's dropping, and I know that you're having a tough time. My thing is this: they really should have made 2 things. Yeah, an Etheric Light for armor and an Etheric Light for weapons. The reason I say that is I honestly believe that if they split it up, it would have been more enjoyable.
That's exactly what I was saying yesterday.
Because how many people want that 365 Hawk Moon? I mean, not Hawk Moon, Fatebringer.
Right.
Like the fact that it drops the way it does is kind of weird, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I agree.
It's just weird.
I think it should have been, if they were going to do it, like how they have energy and shards, like just continue to do it that way. One upgrade your weapons, one upgrade your armor. And now it's like you almost have to kind of decide what you want to use it on. Like, oh, should I upgrade my armor? Should I upgrade this weapon? And I mean, that's cool to have that type of strategy, but at the same time, it's like when you make it, a little bit difficult to get, something that's essential for you to get more, it kind of, I don't know, just for me personally, it kills the enjoyment, especially when I don't have a chance to do it just solely by myself when there's not anybody else around. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's the one thing I have that bothers me.
Yeah, they definitely should have made it a guaranteed drop in something solo.
Yeah,
Or-
exactly.
Like complete the story mission, you get the Etheric Light. That way people can start boosting themselves up and start going into Prison of Elders.
Right, exactly.
Now, I'm not sure if that would have taken value out of the level 32 Prison of Elders. Maybe have made it a level 33 instead. I'm just I understand it's a tough balance. It's just that Etheric Light is one of the reasons why people were wanted to play this this thing, and the barrier that there is to getting Etheric Light might be a little challenging to some people. It's just tough. They definitely made it so that you do have to play with other people.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the things that, I mean, I understand they made it so it's like, okay, you don't need as many people to get to get that element, but it's like I also would have liked if even they could have had a chance for it to drop during some of the raids. Like, that would have been cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, it kind of is like, why are we doing raids anymore if you already have been raiding like that? It's like,
Right.
They took that out. You know.
What I would have done would have made the raid weapons base level 36 light the second you get it.
Right.
Because the raid I went and did what is it, Vault of Glass, and the fact that it's dropping at level 30 is weird.
Right. Right.
Oh, but what about the fact that, I mean, you don't really need to work. Well, I mean, besides getting the drop, you don't need to work to actually get your stuff upgraded now.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, stuff is already like if you have something like a piece of armor, it's like or a weapon, it's like what are you doing bounties for now? The bounties are like you don't even care about them anymore. And that was one of the things I actually did enjoy doing, when I turned on the game. I'm like, okay, at least I know. I mean, it got repetitive, of course, but that's what a grind is. It's repetition. And if you enjoy it, if the game is good enough for you to want to grind, then that's a good thing, in my opinion.
It's the same conundrum that's going on with WoW. I mean, they made it easier for you to get to level 100, and it's like it's good for initial boost, but in terms of long-term replayability, it kind of saps some of the stuff. Say what you will about, Dark Below, but at least you kept going back to it because you had no choice. You either
Right.
come back to us or you don't get your level 32 gear.
Right.
Um,
Well, we're already seeing people in the first week getting level 34s. Like, I know at least
me.
yeah. Well, there's two guys in our clan who got 34. I mean, somebody got 33 the first night. I mean, we could have got 33 the first night if we just kept going.
Yeah.
But we were tired. Fuck that.
Right.
Exactly. So we didn't do it.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it just takes away. I don't know. For me, it just takes away just that replayability and that urge, that itch to want to play. Like, oh, let me see what's next. Let me see if I can get this to get to this level, or get this weapon up to this level, so I can beat this certain part. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel that necessity anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, going back to what you originally said, they removed the single player element. You used to be able to do pretty much everything on your own. Now, I mean, obviously not the raids, but now they made it even less able for you to do that. Although I do find it disappointing and well, not disappointing, upsetting to me, I should say, that there's already somebody that beat Skolas on 35 solo.
I saw that. That was ridiculous with the hunter.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Screw him with everything he's got.
That shit was ridiculous. I watched that last night when we were playing, and I was like, yo, somebody already soloed it, and I watched it. I'm just like, wow, this is unbelievable. And that just goes to show you how the different armor and the different weapons make the biggest difference in the world, when you're playing that game.
Oh yeah. I mean, even some people that, like, while we're watching the videos of somebody fighting Uroks, like, some of these guys just blowing through them because of the weapons they have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know that those weapons. I mean, if they make it easier, that's great. But the developers cannot be relying on people to have those weapons in order to beat those things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, the game's made out of cheese, man.
So
to put that on my tombstone when I die. Destiny's made out of cheese.
so let's analyze this. Got the story mode down. We got the prison. We got the Trials of Osiris. We didn't speak about the bounties and stuff before the release and then during the release, which there haven't been many during the release, but that's beside the point. How do you guys feel about the package overall?
It's better than Dark Below. I think, while it is a better expansion, but some of the things they implemented, like the etheric light and not having to grind or level up your armor and weapons, that stuff I think is gonna hurt the game more so than help it. Like, I think people are gonna come back, they're gonna play, they're gonna have a good time, they're gonna get 34, and they're gonna stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
I
I
mean,
feel the same way.
they need to add new content like right away. Like that raid that's been talked about, kind of. Yeah, that needs to come like next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to
I
come.
feel like they need to hop on this, like, because I feel like they kind of, in trying to get people to be able to upgrade and not get rid of old armor and old gear and make that stuff relevant again. I feel like they kind of, made people not want to continue to play, because it's like, okay, maybe you do want to upgrade all your armor, but at the end of the day, you might be like, whatever, I already got this gear up there, like, and then you don't need to even play anymore. It's like, I understand them wanting to take out some of the grinding, but for me personally, I would have liked that element to still be there where I could grind by myself and then, I could get some people together and then be like, okay, like let's do this together. And then, okay, then I can go back by myself. And, I just like a variety of ways to get, maxed out and get to the top. Like I just, like when they added, with Iron Banner, when they kept adding the different level gear, where it's like, okay, I couldn't get the rating gear, but it's like, okay, I played Iron Banner, now I can get to 32 because I have this gear. Okay, I have the gear now, I still have to grind to upgrade the gear to get to that level. And it's like, I like that type of stuff where it's like it takes longer, but at the same time I can still do it. It's like, okay, well, maybe I have to work harder, but at least I can do it. Now it's like, I can't do this unless I play these specific modes or I do these specific tasks. Like, I don't really like being, painted into a corner. It was like, I have to play this way. And that was one thing I did like, the way they were going, where it was like, okay, I can do this way. I can get it this way. Okay, I can raid. Okay, I got my, my armor up to this level. Okay, but I want, this, the Crota armor too. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like, I like that variety in that, that grind that comes along with it. That's just for me personally though.
Well, it gives you something to do, and it makes it kind of feel like it's worth it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. And that's why I felt like I was getting my money's worth, because even though the content may have been slim, my hours played was not. Like, it was still, I was still getting my money's worth because I was playing as, as much as I could or as much as I wanted to. And now it's like where I feel like I don't even want to play, because it's like, okay, if I can't get the people on that are playing that I like to play with, I it's like, what's the point of playing by myself? What's the point of even turning the game on or even going on to check if I can't, do things by myself or on my own and then get ready for, when my group gets on or when people I want to play with come on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's my problem. It limits my ways to play the game.
Right. Right. I agree with you on that, because like I can, especially in our group, I can totally foresee us everybody getting the 34th in the next few weeks, and then we go play something else.
Right, exactly. Especially when it's like, okay, it took us, we had to do this, and that to get to 34. Okay, we finally got to 34. And it's like, okay, well, maybe we want to upgrade these other weapons, or we want to, and it's just like, we already there. Like, I don't feel like doing that crap again. Or like, I could see us getting on to check to see what changes they made to the Prison of Elders, and
What
then just,
Zur has.
or what Zur had, and then just turning the game off or going to play something else or going to do something else. Like, it's just like, okay, let me check, and then that's it. It's not like, okay, let me check. Oh, they did this. All right, let's do this. Like, oh, get on here. Let's try this. Like, I don't see it being that type of game anymore, where it's like we still want to do Vault of Glass raids. Like, that's the type of stuff that stands out to me. Like, when you still want to do that activity that's been around since the beginning, but it's just that it's that good, and it's still stuff that maybe
You want,
particularly,
yeah.
that we still want. You know what I mean? So, like a lot of people before House of Wolves dropped, they jumped back on and they were playing just to get that old gear that they had gotten rid of. It's like, yo, let's get it back. And I feel like, if I had done that personally to get some of the gear that I didn't have, or maybe I wanted to have to upgrade, it's like, okay, I grinded to get it. And I was like, I don't even want to play it to upgrade that gear now. It's like, because I'm not enjoying what they added. Not to say I like Prison of Elder. I think it's dope. I just don't like the fact that there's nothing I can really do to prepare by myself to go into there and play.
Right.
That's my biggest thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, like right now we're still playing on a regular interval. I'm just worried that because that's what happened with our group before. Like a lot of the group, like for the last month, has not been playing Destiny. They've been
Right.
playing other stuff, and it's because how many they were running raids a few times a week,
Mhm.
and they got almost everything they needed. You
Right.
know, and the group hasn't really expanded, so it's not like we have new people that we have to get. Because that's the only reason like some of the main guys kept playing because it gets them the newer members. Uh, Armor and weapons and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
Actually, that last raid run that we did with you, Jorge, the only weapon I'm missing right now is the Hunger of Crota.
Yeah, that one I've only gotten 2 drops of that.
Yeah, that's the only one we're missing right now. I mean, if I get a crux, that's a plus. But I'm not even really interested in really getting a crux, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think like they need to put out something new soon. Or I don't know, maybe the changes they make to the Prison of Elves would be that dope. I don't know. I don't know. You gotta
I
see.
mean, yeah, I just feel like I just feel like there's not enough different ways to get that etheric light. I mean, of course, there are different ways, and we'll see. I mean, this is only the first week, so I'm
We'll
only speaking on what's happened so far. I don't know how far it's going to go, or how it's going to change, or anything they're going to add in the next couple weeks. I mean, it could totally change my opinion, it could be something that just totally bugs me out. But I mean, as of right now, what we have in front of us is cool and it's fun, and I think it definitely is a good expansion. But I think it's good just by default because the last one brought so many problems that people didn't enjoy. So it's kind of like, okay, how could you have made it worse? So I
yeah.
mean,
Oh, they could have. They could have.
oh yeah, they definitely could, but it's like then a lot of people would have jumped off, and a lot of people have jumped off. But I feel like I was one of the people that stuck around and was still playing, pretty much every week or every other day. And now since the expansion dropped, I don't even play every other day now. Like I just, if somebody's on, I get on and I play, and then I'm like, I don't feel the need to keep playing, especially, when I'm by myself playing. Like I don't really feel the need to do anything.
Right. I feel you.
Especially
Yeah.
like like I used to love doing it. Like when I get on, okay, let me do the daily, and then I'll go do something. I have a quick minute. Let me go do the daily. It's like, what is my motivation to do that now? And, for me personally, like I'm like, okay, I can get energy, I can get shards. Okay, I can use that to upgrade this, or if I keep getting shards, I can do this, or I keep getting energy, I can upgrade to this, and then I can, I can do this easier. It's like now I don't really feel like that element is there.
You're right. Yeah. We'll see. Like maybe they got something up their sleeve. Maybe we'll hear something new. Hopefully,
Right.
we'll hear. Now before we close up, there is one thing I almost forgot about it. Nick posted a comment. Nick from Mashcast Wild Talk. He actually had a question. Well, actually had a comment and a question about our last podcast.
Hmm.
Talking about raids. So I'll read the question or the comment at first. He says, you mentioned WoW having easily accessible raid content, but it wasn't always like that. In fact, WoW went through a similar stage with a low percentage of players completing raid content. This is those numbers we were talking about
Hmm.
last time. Blizzard realized that they were devoting resources to experiences that most players were not going to have, and eventually it led them to creating the Raid Finder, which allows players to be put into a 25-man randomly assembled group. The content is easier since Blizzard can't expect any sort of coordination, and as a result, it sometimes is known as tourist mode. This is how I'm able to raid without a guild. If Bungie wants to get raid participation up, they're going to have to do something similar. And then the question was, also have a question for you next show. As someone who still hasn't gotten to level 30 and barely touched the Crota stuff, is it worth it for me to jump in the House of Wolves, or should I wait to get through the Dark below? Um,
Um,
Go ahead. I'll let you answer, Jorge.
I would say if you have the easiest way to get into the House of Wolf stuff is to get legendary engrams. If you're able to get those, you're set because they come out at light level 36. If you have a ton of marks, that's another way you can get armor that'll get you to level 32. Is It's a tough question to answer because on one hand, I want to say you want to do the Crota raid because of guns like Fang of Ute. Fang of Ute is so powerful in the the House of Wolves expansion that it's almost a sin to try to do any raid or not raid, any arena or even the story or whatnot without it because there's just so many things that need arc damage. It's a tough question to answer because again, Bungie also introduced this Borderlands-like experience in terms of the guns, where you're getting a whole bunch of guns that a lot of them are complete crap. Some of them are decent, but it depends on what roles you get and stuff. So I would experience Dark Below before you do House of Wolves because there's just so much to do and so much to get that you might get overwhelmed if you don't do that first.
Yeah, I agree with Jorge to an extent. I think the main reason to do the Dark Below at this point is for the weaponry. Fang of Ute is great to have. Oversoul Edict, another good one to have, and especially Abyss Defiant, which I talked about earlier, was a lifesaver, literally a lifesaver, in one of our encounters. And if you just totally skip Dark Below, you won't even have a chance to get those weapons because they're raid only. However, in terms of leveling, I know you play Crucible, so you probably have Crucible marks. Within you can get to level 32 because you can just buy what you need from Dead Orbit or from either the Vanguard or the Crucible vendor. You can buy armor that'll get you to 32 at this point, and then do Prison Developers to get Etheric Light. So if you're talking about from a level perspective, no, you don't need Dark Below, but Dark Below has some weapons that I think are key. Like, it has some of the best weapons I have seen this game have so far. Like, almost all of the weapons out of Dark Below were the Crota, Fang of Ute, Song of Ute, all that stuff. Excellent weapons, and that's why I would still do Dark Below. Okay, so anybody got anything else, or are we wrapping up here?
You guys pretty much covered that. Like, personally, just for me, I mean, this might sound bad, but I wouldn't get into it if I was if I was, from his perspective, like I wouldn't even, I mean, just because I see that he hasn't gotten into Dark Below and he doesn't seem like he raids, like he hasn't been in any raids if he hasn't gotten to that level yet. It's like, what's the point? Like,
No,
I even
see, it's definitely a game. It more so now than before. It's definitely a game where if you don't have a solid group or whatnot, it's tough to get into.
yeah, exactly.
Be more important than anything else. Get friends, talk to people, say, look, I'm thinking about getting this game. It was like, would you be able to help me out? Because more than anything else, having people who can help you out or help do stuff with you. That sounds dirty, but anyway, just playing the game with you is more important than anything else.
Right, I agree. That leads back to to my problem with, like, he can't, if he just wants to play on his off time with none of his friends are on, and he just like maybe wants to get prepared like for when they might get on. Like, it's like, what can he do now? I mean, even though he can, since he hasn't been playing, like he can do some things, like he can get his armor up to 32, but after that it's like he's got to have those people around to get further. Like, it's a must to get that light. Like, he has to do it.
Very true. Very true. All right. Well, hopefully that was helpful.
Hopefully.
So, but yeah, I think it's gonna wrap us up. here at In Orbit episode number 4. Thank you for listening. You can catch us. There's several ways to get In Orbit. Now, before it was just
really?
SoundCloud. Oh yeah, several ways.
Tell me more.
Tell you more. All right, I'm gonna tell you more. So, first of all, we are now on iTunes. In Orbit is on iTunes, and so you can grab it that way. We are on Stitcher Smart Radio, and that works on Android and iOS devices. We are still on SoundCloud, so you can catch us on SoundCloud. We are on Player.fm, which I'm pretty sure they have that on iPhone. They definitely have it on Android and in the browser. So we're on Player.fm. We are on Pocket Cast, which is primarily Android, and then there's RSS feed. So if you just have your own utility that you use, you can just pop it in there, and there's a feed that you can get every In Orbit as it's ready. So you can catch us in all those places. We have other podcasts. We have the Mashcast, which is kind of on a hiatus right now. We did do a special edition about quality assurance that if you haven't checked it out, you might want to check it out. It's not just us talking about quality assurance. We have somebody on staff who is a QA tester professionally, and she talks about what she goes through with QA testing. So that was actually a pretty cool one.
Who, Ray?
Yeah, Ray.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so there's the Mashcast. We have Double Tap, which is dedicated to fighting games. That's monthly. Probably in the next 2 weeks or two. Where are we in this time and place right now? Oh yeah, so about next week. Next week should be a new Double Tap. Then we have WoW Talk, which is bi-weekly, and that'll be this week. So that's obviously dedicated to WoW. So if you like WoW fighting games or Destiny, we got you covered for now. Got you covered. So yeah, you can check those out. And you just check out mashthosebuttons.com for the latest episodes of all the podcasts we do and other reviews and things like that. Like I said, thanks for listening. We will catch you guys next time.
All right.
Say bye, Jorge.
Meow.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.